Dear Elijah and Elena, and dear fellow fathers, beware of the emotional affair. Again, beware of the emotional affair. Now, what am I meaning about emotional affairs? This video is, again, going to be about marriage or on marriage or relationships in general, but especially for marriage. I'm coming up on 10 years in the game. Yeah, that's right. A whole decade with one lady. And I like to think that we both have really worked on being faithful to one another. Here's the interesting thing about faithfulness, though. And if you followed me for a while, you know that I've talked about monogamy. Is monogamy outdated? Because it's not as popular nowadays. And I'll make sure I put a link in the show description about directed to that link or to that video. But faithfulness is not just physically cheating on your spouse or your loved one. Come again now? Say what? Yeah, seriously. And I know a lot of you all know that. You know, you can have an emotional affair on your spouse. I'm fortunate to say, I can honestly say that I have not done that. I had any affairs of any type against my wife. And I think I can honestly speak for her that she hadn't done that against me either. Now, the thing about emotional affairs, okay, I'm trying to keep this to 3 minutes. The thing about emotional affairs is that they can happen in any given time, any given place, anywhere. It doesn't even take you having to be attracted to somebody, right? You think about most people when they have a physical affair. Sometimes they're not even attracted to the person they're having a physical affair with. However, many times they are. But an emotional affair is usually when man or woman, of course, this channel is dedicated to fathers. Man or woman is struggling emotionally with their spouse. And usually it's an indicator of deeper issues, mainly that you haven't really been talking to your spouse or your loved one for a while. You haven't had a deep conversation. I did a video recently about actively listening to your ladies, or to your lady. And that's very, very key, very, very important to have a deep conversation. Sometimes you have to schedule them. Like my wife and I, we have our 2 children. We stay pretty busy. It's very hard to speak to each other when they're awake. But sometimes we're so tired. This may actually go a little past 3 minutes. Sometimes we're so tired we can't even speak during the day. So we had to wait till they're asleep at night. Or sometimes we just had to force it over them. Or sometimes we just had to let them, they might be watching shows for a little while. And we try to, get our little time in, our conversation in then. But it has to be healthy. It has to be you have to be listening to one another. I'm gonna give you another key ingredient about active listening. The one thing I learned from my parents a long time ago is that sometimes what people do is they'll act like they're hearing the person, but they're really not hearing them. Okay, because there is a difference between hearing and listening. So what you want to do is ask the person what they said, listen, okay, and then you might even have to write it down, okay, and then you go back to them and say, so what I heard you saying is, and repeat back to them what they said. Then not only actively listen, try to put it in place and put it in play what they were desiring for you to do. So that's a major thing about emotional affairs, and you have to watch out for it, because if you're not paying attention and not listening to your spouse, not having healthy conversations with them time and time again on a I'm not gonna say a daily basis. This is gonna go past 4 minutes. My apologies. I'm not going to say on a daily basis, but I'm going to say you need to make a routine. Like if you were exercising, as routine as you breathe and eat, right? You make meals 3 times a day, 2 times a day. Make it a routine to speak to your spouse. So the thing about, like I said before, being careful about those emotional affairs is that if you have had one, or if you're having one, it's a key indicator that you need to be talking more and having understanding with you and your spouse, and actively listening to each other. Then, writing down what they have to say, thinking about what they have to say, putting in place or play what they have to say. Okay. So watch out for those emotional affairs, because they can pop up mighty quickly. Okay. And I do want to keep this video under 5 minutes. So again, watch out for them. Beware for the emotional affair. Something to think about. And let me also say thank you to my first 200 subscribers. Please continue to share, subscribe, and like. Thank you.